let's talk about different types of therapy and coaching and understanding what you need at what moment in your life. I'm going to give the analogy like an ocean. So you're the boat and you're floating in the ocean and you're ready to look at your fears and to look at what's holding you back. And that means looking at the water. Now, some coaches and therapists are going to help you navigate being on the water, just navigate being human. So they're going to validate. They're mostly going to listen to you, acknowledge what you're saying, and they may give you some tools on like how to set boundaries and how to speak up for yourself and look back at certain things. But they're going to say, hey, look behind you, look beside you, look in front of you. And they're just kind of generally mostly validating you, listening to what you've been through, what's going on, so you can talk about your fears. But you're still sitting on the boat. You're floating on the surface of the boat. And it's needed. This is a huge step and it's important in the process because the world is filled up with water. There's a lot. And some people are just staying on land. They don't even want to look at the water. So you being in the boat and talking about your stuff and your feelings and all of that is needed. Now you have some coaches and therapists that are going to tell you, hey, hold on. How about we take a dive just in the little first part of the water? Like take a foot, put it in the water, another foot. I'll give you a life jacket. I'm going to hold your hand while you navigate certain things. And those are unconscious things that you do. Maybe like looking at your habits and maybe observing your relationships, observing what has been holding you back. And that coach and that therapist will validate you through it all, will tell you that it's okay to feel. But here's the thing, they're going to actually show you how to swim. They're going to say, these are your fears. And I'm going to help you navigate, but I'm eventually going to kind of let you go so you can swim. And then you could dive in and go look at, there's fishes down there. There's some things that you're not aware of that you can take a look at. And it's very eye-opening. It's enlightening for a lot of people. And again, it's very much needed because some people are only on the surface and they don't dive into their thoughts and their emotion and what happens. But then you have different types of therapists and coaches that go a little deeper. This type of therapy is getting to the root cause, is diving into the depths while you are alone. Now, you're still going to be hooked up and the therapist is going to guide you through what you're seeing, but the depths of the ocean is dark and it's scary. But that's where the things that are keeping you stuck in life, that's where they are. My sister and I, we were talking about this, and it's similar to, Nate the hoof guy who cleans out the hoof. There are some people that just like wash things off, but Nate the hoof, he gets to the deep infection of the hoof and he like digs in there. And sometimes it doesn't even look like it's that bad, but the more he digs, the more infected it is. And then what does he do? He cleans it out. Now this is scary. When you're in the depths of the ocean, things that you've never seen, things that are coming up, you're going into the past because in the past is where all the memories and the traumas and things happen. A lot of people connect that and they're like, I don't want to face that. It's too scary. But it's only scary when you don't have the right coach and therapist to guide you through the darkness, because there are some therapists that are only trained to teach you to go on the surface or maybe in the little depths. So they're not going to challenge you. A therapist and a coach that challenges you and makes you a little uncomfortable, doesn't make you uncomfortable in a way that is creepy. I'm saying, says, hey, let's go deeper. Let's find the root cause. Let's find a part of you that is feeling some kind of way and patterns that keep repeating. Well, let's go into that. Where does that come from? And in order to do that, we need to go in your past. So the memories that you have are not to be avoided, they're to be explored. Now you need the right coach and therapist for this, because if you are unequipped to go into your past and revisit some things, you can spiral. Just like imagine scuba diving deep into the abyss. If you don't have the right person that's like, hey, I'm going to guide you through this, you can get lost in there and it's scary. And that's why a lot of people either don't approach it because maybe they don't have the right person to help them do that, or they just don't want to face it. Now, here's the one thing I'm going to tell you when it comes to this. A lot of people don't know that the things that they have done and the accountability that they have to face, that is just a part of them. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. If you cannot face certain parts of yourself, and you think that it's shameful, or maybe it's going to bring up the feeling of guilt, you need to have a professional that knows how to work with the guilt and know that it's just a part of you. It is not all of you. And facing that doesn't make you a bad person. Facing the depths of your thoughts and emotions is the key to breaking free from certain things that are not just holding you back, but relationships and experiencing all aspects of life. So surface level is very important because you're learning, what is the healing journey? How do I step into it? What can I observe? Maybe I can see different perspectives, not just my own. That's the surface level, just looking around and noticing what fears come up. Then you dive in. It's a little bit deeper. You're going into your habits, into things that you've been doing that may not be so helpful for you. So you start changing your habits. You start changing your life a little bit. And then you have the abyss. And the abyss is hard. Going into the abyss is scary. It's about facing the darkness that lives within you, the darkness that's all around. And not to hold the guilt and the shame. Holding yourself accountable doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Holding yourself accountable does not mean you're a bad person. You may have done things or said things that could hurt people. Maybe you did and said things that hurt yourself. And it's hard to face those things. That's why having a guide is so important, but you have to have the right guide at the right time in your life at the right moment. And every single type of guide is needed. Think of the pain and fear that you have in your life like a wound. Sometimes you could just run it underwater and then slap a Band-Aid. That's what's needed. But sometimes it hurts a little more. So you need some soap and water, maybe a little polysporin, and then slap a Band-Aid. But there are some wounds that are deeper. They're so deep that they're infected, and you need to clean them out. You need to go and not just have somebody else clean them out. You also, and that hurts. It hurts. You have to face that, and it takes a while. So be patient with yourself and know through every part of your journey, you are lovable. You are valuable because you exist. Don't forget that. Love you.